I'm looking out the window this morning and I see a magical winter day. Well, hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen, and today I'm going to show you a recipe, and that's cinnamon apple muffin recipe. Now normally you would put it in a muffin pan like this. Actually it would be about 18 muffins, so you need maybe 2 of these depending how much you put in. But today I'm going to put it all in this one large pan because I'm taking this to church tomorrow morning, and there's about 30 of us and everyone can try a small piece. I'm going to cut it up into squares, and so that's going to be more practical in this case. So let's get started. First I'm going to take 2 eggs and put it in my mixer, and I'm going to whip that up for a few minutes. So here you can see the egg is nice and creamy. That's the way it should be. So now I'm going to add 1.5 cups brown sugar. Of course, if you don't like a lot of sugar, you can go down to 1 cup of brown sugar. But that's the recipe, and I've done this recipe a few times, so I know it is good. So now I'm just going to mix that all together. And now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of olive oil, and I overflowed here a little bit with my measuring cup and made a bit of a mess, but that's me. I'm a messy baker. So I'm going to add that and mix that all together. So now we're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla, like that. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of whipping cream. And that gives it that extra flavor there. So 2 tablespoons. Then I'm going to mix that all together again. So after I let that mix really well, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. There we go. And now I'm going to add 2.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Mix that all together again. So I'm going to need 2 cups of flour for this recipe, but now I'm just going to put half in there, so I'm just going to put 1 cup of flour in there for now. So I put 1 cup of flour in here, and now I'm going to add the baking powder. So this recipe calls for 4 teaspoons of baking powder. 2 and 3 and 4. So now I'm going to mix that all together again. So now I'm going to add the rest of the flour in here and mix that all together. In the meantime, I'm going to cut up 2 big apples, and if you don't have 2 big apples, then 4 small apples in little tiny pieces. I'll show you what that looks like. So here are the apples that I cut up in small pieces. You really need to cut them up small. And so I used 4 small apples. Now Granny Smith is the best apple for baking, but if you don't have Granny Smith apples at hand, I'm sure other apples will do. And you know what? It's still gonna taste great. So I'm just adding the apples and stirring it all in there, and at the moment it is really thick, but it's the juice from the apples are going to thin out the dough a little bit. So while I'm buttering my pan here, I just want to tell you, last night we went to a concert, a worship concert, and the groups, they all sang a cappella, and if some of you seen the video, I'm sure you enjoyed it, and we certainly really enjoyed that concert last night. And tonight we're going to a dinner party, so we have lots going on lately. So now it's time to preheat my oven at 350 on bake. And so now it's time to get this dough here in the pan. So I've been using a knife here to flatten it all out. And that worked good for me right now. And I think it's ready to go in the oven. I set the oven at 350 and now I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes and then the cake should be ready. I'm going to check it with my stick. Yep, perfect. It turned out perfect. Now I'm going to let the cake cool down for at least an hour. Then I'm going to cut in small squares, wrap it up, and take it along tomorrow morning to church for everyone to enjoy. Thank you everyone for watching, and please join us again in the next video.